What is going on, everybody? All is right with the world. Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. The second half of this doubleheader, I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops, who was laughing at our good friend Bryce Cannon getting roughed up by a hook on Dynamite earlier tonight.
Bryce, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. That was an awesome moment. It's cool to see. It's cool to see you on there. That was cool.
Yeah, you did great, man. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going into overtime here with a bonus episode. Thank you to everybody from the Georgia Wrestling History Awards that did join us for the first half of this show. You missed a hell of a conversation, Choose, but I appreciate the flowers that you gave me.
I watched it. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you to Hakeem Young, Hollywood Hunter Drake, Skrilla the Great, and Nick Halen for joining us for an awesome conversation. Best of luck this weekend. If you did not get a chance to check out that episode, head on over to the archives on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe.
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
If you didn't go check out the interview, what the hell are you doing? Go check out the interview. Eric did a great job solo. Hey, shout out to you, buddy.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. And I appreciate you because, again, the second half of the name is Dad, so I had some things going on. You took the ball and you rolled with it. Yeah. You're the man. Oh, great. Yeah, something's happened on Dynamite.
Would you leave that man alone? Would you leave Wardlow alone, please?
I will not, because he's not. Well, okay. Let's talk about some NXT.
Yeah. We definitely need to. I'm just gonna get right on into this because I've been thinking about this one all day. I even wrote this out and get myself all propped up here because I am done with the Trick and Mello feud.
Ooh,
I don't know what more they could do to interest me. At this point, they pulled the trigger too early on the sneak attack. At this point, I think it's been 3 months. It's safe to say that they pulled that trigger too early. They could have realistically waited until before or after deadline to where you have to have the viewer think, will Trick actually make it to this match? Or will he actually make it to his championship match if he is going to win it? Who's to say that they'll come back and tie up this loose end? I don't see them. I see this going the way of the White Hummer here. And it's really starting to piss me off because Mello is literally this close to joining SmackDown. He's likely going to be in the Royal Rumble this weekend. You are on your way to a much larger bag, and you still are worried about Trick taking the NXT title off of Ilya when you've got your opportunities right in front of you. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And the thing is, in the grand scheme of their careers, this story is just going to be a blip on what we know they can do. They are phenomenally talented, and they are going to have great WWE careers, but this is a waste of their talent on the way to their biggest NXT show of the year.
Okay. All right. You are all fired up. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry to hear that tonight.
I'm in a great mood. It's just this story's pissing me off.
I'm actually okay with what they're going to do. Okay. It's just kind of night and day where I've been. Like, they're going to go, to the Dusty Classic final. Do they win that? Who knows? But I think eventually
Wolf Dogs.
I think that night, we'll get to them. I think that night is when we see the turn. And does that mean it's going to be for the title? I don't know. But I'm okay with how they've kind of, this part of it, with the whole Dusty Classic thing. I'm okay with this part. Everything else that's been there, Lexus King, Divergent or whatever I'm looking for, like that was weird. This constant he said, she said thing, I'm not excited about. Like, if the Dusty Classic would have been there the entire time, I would have been okay. But like you said, they pulled the trigger a little bit too early. And if I'm not mistaken, and I may be, like, when Trick won the when Trick won the North American champion, wasn't it because somebody got hurt?
I want to say yes. I don't
Was it
remember who
Wes
that
Lee?
was though. Probably.
Was it because he originally won it and then lost it back? But wasn't Dominic supposed to wrestle some? Like I thought Dominic was supposed to wrestle Wes Lee or Dragon Lee or somebody like that. And then
Or
they
it might have
decided to do the
been,
switch.
or it might have been Mustafa Ali because he was set for an angle before he was released.
Yeah, that might have been who it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly who it was. So I think they kind of almost panicked and said, "Oh man, we got to get this going because we don't have what the long term we thought we were going to have." Yeah, it's just it was too early, but like the whole Dusty Classic thing, I'm okay with if I just forget about everything else, and that's what I'm choosing to do at this moment in time.
fair.
Is kind of forget about, and I shouldn't, but if I'm going to sit here and want to enjoy this story and enjoy this final act that we're going to get of this story, I mean, it's still shorter than Cody Rhodes' story, but it's I'm okay with where we are because it looks like Stand and Deliver. It's going to be those two, and I think they'll both be in the Rumble. By the way,
I mean, and that's all well and good. I need to see something here. I know that you're enjoying the story. For me, there's a whole lot of panic, not much disco on my end.
you only get that once a year. You've already used your Panic at the Disco reference.
It's 2024, and I've not used it. So
yes, you have. Go back in the archives. You have already used it in January.
I've said lost the plot. I don't know that I've said a whole lot of panic, not much disco.
I will find it.
I don't know.
I will find it.
I'll
find it. Don't you worry. I'll find it. I know I've heard it this year.
I think you're full of shit.
That's fine. You think that either way. It doesn't matter.
Also, where's your wine?
Right here, pal.
Yay! Look at us. Wine down Wednesdays with the wrestling junkies. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I just think, this story peaked way too soon, and it's losing me.
I don't know if it peaked too soon. I think it started too soon. I think I think we have to make the difference between that.
Okay.
Because at its peak, it was awesome. Now we're kind of, like you said, on that downturn. But I think the eventual turn and then the match that we're going to get, we're going to go, it was worth it. It just, I think it started too soon.
We'll see. I hope so. I don't have my hopes up.
Right. Well, you just said you hope so, and then you don't have your hopes up. So which one is it, pal?
Honestly, yeah, I don't have my hopes up here. I don't.
You know what I want to talk about?
This is what do you want to talk about?
William Regal was back on my TV.
I know. Not to take the NXT GM job though.
That's okay. He's gonna go manage Pete Dunne, who's back, by the way, which we didn't mention. We didn't mention Pete Dunne was back. We did mention on the Mark podcast where we did a watch along, and you guys freaked out. I came back in and I saw what was going on.
No.
But we didn't mention it on our show. Yeah, Pete Dunne's back.
Yes. Also, shout out to On the Mark podcast. They just put out an episode with their official Royal Rumble predictions. Go check that out. Speaking of which, we are going to be doing our Royal Rumble predictions tomorrow with True JSB, a.k.a. the Juggernaut. If you're not following him on social media, we'll be making sure to retweet him. We also have another friend of the show that's coming who has never been on the show, friend of mine from law school. I think that you guys are getting along. You're both Philly sports fans. You're both named Chris.
Oh, you mean this? Oh, yeah. Man.
That would have a lot more bite if you guys were actually in the NFC Championship this weekend.
Says the guy that didn't even get to the playoffs.
We played with house money, bitch.
What does that mean?
Once Burrow went down, I think that we thought that our season was going to tank. At least realistically, we're still mathematically alive for most of this year. I'll take that.
Where are you?
What do you mean, where am I? I'm in my
same place I am, pal. Get over it.
Okay. Yeah, but you don't hear me doing that. Oh, you mean this or
you made
there? Oh,
you made a
that
mention
Bengals belt right there.
You made a mention of a fellow Chris that likes Philly sports fan, and all I did was go, "Oh, like this." Like I am a Philly sports fan. Shut your mouth. Ava Rain is the new GM. Nepo baby.
Well, according to the
Come
dirty sheets, it was just cosmic timing that it ended that way. I hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. I know what can be inferred. I get that. I make inferences for a living. So
It was
yeah,
pretty damn convenient that they're like, oh,
yeah.
Ava Rain's the new GM. Dad's on the board.
Youngest general manager in WWE history. What do you think of this move?
I think her wrestling career is done.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, she wasn't great. I can't
She's still
point to
not
any
great.
match of hers that I enjoy. But here's the thing: it took a while for The Rock to catch on and find what worked for him. Did it not?
Yeah.
Same thing with the Vincess. Give it time. Give it
Okay.
time.
I will give it
So
time,
yeah,
but she needs to call her dad up and maybe go get some acting classes.
which I'm sure is something that she'll consider doing. I mean, even though her talking has not been great, especially with Schism, I thought she looked a lot more comfortable during the contract signing last night. I think that Lyra also did as well. That was one of the better segments I've seen
Yeah,
with her, where it
Lyra.
was just her and a microphone. Like, give it time, let him cook.
All right. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much this adds. I get what they're doing with Shawn, kind of the behind the scenes, kind of Triple H role when William Regal was the GM, and kind of have that.
Yeah,
But it's hard because you have Adam Pearce on Raw, you have Nick Aldis on SmackDown, and Ava Rain on NXT. It just feels like
yeah.
a deep, a deep drop off. So
Yeah. Also, shout out to the World Elite Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, boys.
hello. I just I don't know how great this is going to be. I would have much rather had William Regal back. That's just me. But I'm
I get it.
hoping now that he's back on television, he will he'll get a shot to go be on TV somewhere. Don't go manage the no quarter catch crew. Blah blah blah. Go to the main roster. Manage Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, and then eventually manage your kid.
I mean, I don't know why you're so down on this group, because don't you think that the guidance of a William Regal will bring everybody up?
You know why I'm so down on this group?
You haven't told me yet. Let's hear it.
Is because if you put William Regal with it, it's basically a downgraded BCC, and I think they're going to want to stay away from that.
I mean, but NXT is all about the youth movement, though. So I mean, if you
Then
do
why is
have
Drew
the
Gulak
position,
in it?
I don't fucking know.
I'm
It's
counter.
and and who's to say that, if, let's just say for the sake of this hypothetical, William Regal does join No Quarter Catch Crew, who says the Gulak needs to stay?
Then who's the leader?
It could again be, just think the collective William Regal. Think of it more of a. Think of it more as a Heenan family type, where it's all single stars that kind of had this one common
Okay.
goal of just annihilation. Isn't, I mean, not every faction has to have a leader, or has to be looked at as being the leader of it.
I know. I'm just if William Regal's going to manage somebody, I would just much rather him manage Charlie Dempsey and just them kind of do their own thing.
Sure,
That's
fair.
where I'm at. So
Okay.
I've seen some good things from Damon Kemp. Like I think
He's a much better wrestler than his brother.
well, yeah, and he doesn't do backflips for no reason.
That helped no one.
Like I think Gulak has been just super underutilized in WWE, and now he's in NXT. But he very rarely wrestles, so I don't know what that's adding to this group. I can't even name the other guy.
Miles Bourne.
So that's kind of where I'm at. It kind of feels like a group thrown together. It's almost like it's a diamond mine, but not as good. You add Regal, it's a BCC, not as good. I kind of just want them to split off on their own, do their own things. That's just me.
Fair enough.
That's just me.
That's okay. That's okay. Lexus King got a win over Trey Bearhill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. um, let's talk about Elektra Lopez and Lola Vice. That blood feud is coming. Can't wait. It looks like Lopez is going to be the face here.
Okay.
I mean, how do you feel about that?
Hope she's improved in the ring.
I would imagine that she
I'm
has.
I'm I'm a little worried about that. You know. Well, we kind of said the same thing when somebody else came back and is now on the main roster and was supposed to improve in the ring, and she has not. Um, I, I don't know. Like I think might be a way just to get Elektra Lopez maybe back on the main roster. Like have Lola Vice beat her, she disappears, and then she's back on the main roster.
Yeah, I think. I mean, she's got to be.
Santos.
Yeah, she's got to join LDF, reunite them, just as the antithesis of this. I think by feuding with LWO with Selena, I mean, I think that the in-ring work will improve. It's certainly better than what we saw before LDF was called up to the main roster. So, I mean, step in the right direction is at least how I'm going to look at it. Glass half full.
Yeah, and I do think like not Elektra Lopez, Lola Vice is going to be big for them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over everybody saying, "Hey, you shake your ass, and that's why you're famous." Like, okay, we've heard that line. Go to something else. Like that line's already like, all right, next kind of thing.
And I think that if I recall correctly, I think she has a sister who also trains MMA too. So that could be another avenue as far as setting up another tag team that, the women's division could use, since, they're all about rehabbing that division in 2024.
I will say though, to credit Elektra Lopez, like she sounded really good on the mic last night. So
sure.
I will give her that. Like you sounded really good. Also, this Tony Storm, Deonna Purrazzo thing they got going on. Was split in half with Tony Storm in black and white.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep. Awesome. This is just
shout out to AEW,
man.
Good job production wise.
Yeah, this is not an official Dynamite watch along or anything like that. There's plenty of other channels that do that. Quite frankly, we're only keeping this on in our backgrounds because if Copeland Suzuki comes on, then we're gonna turn this episode into a watch along for that match and that match only, since it's gonna be commercial free. Which jokes on them. WWE is gonna be commercial free let's insert every day of the week here for Raw. Yeah,
I'm on pretty much every day at this point. It'll be crazy. Anything else on NXT that caught your eye? Because I think I have one more thing.
I still don't know what the hell is going on with Tatum Paxley. The motivation still hasn't been explained for why she is.
She's crazy, pal.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but like, it's just been done to death.
Oh, she's crazy, pal. She's crazy. Nikki Cross.
See, but at least with Nikki, it's more intriguing because like she's kind of lingering in just random places of just like, okay, like you're kind of the Ali Sheedy in the Breakfast Club.
Don't get that reference.
Are you serious?
Before my time, pal. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care about the Nikki Cross stuff. We've seen this for now years, and it never goes anywhere. Maybe it will this time, but it just never does. So you don't have my interest until something actually happens. But yeah, like this one,
it's a way.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
I didn't. No, that's on me. I should not have cut you off.
No, that's just the whole Nikki Cross thing. Like, I'm waiting for something to happen. It's kind of like how you were with Punk. Like, I'm waiting for something. I know that she can be great, but nothing has happened, and I'm tired of waiting. With as much as else as they have going on, like I'm not going to care about Nikki Cross at this point. Even though I think she is another one that is very underutilized and could be a great asset to that women's division.
Yeah.
It's just not there. With this one, it's interesting. Do you think Roxy wins?
I don't. I think I think that she's somebody it's time to transition to the main roster sooner than later. I like
Rumble?
the idea of Lyra. I think she'll be in the Rumble for sure. I mean, the fact that we haven't gotten a number of announced names on either side is definitely encouraging of that. So, yeah, I'm willing to hope that she is. I know that we are both going to have a little money on the line this weekend as far as both these Rumbles win or both these Rumbles go. May the best person win.
Hopefully, I don't get a bad pick.
Yeah.
I'm
I
worried.
want number 20. I want number 27, but at the same time, I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm,
see.
um, I'm definitely a little worried. That's for sure. But the last thing that caught my eye was I kind of love Baron Corbin right now. I never thought I'd say that.
I'm sorry. Can you say that a little louder for the people in the back?
Yeah, I kind of love this dynamic of Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker. Like I this might be like the best Corbin has been since that lone wolf character, and
You're not wrong.
at this point, I'm like I almost throw him in a tag team and not with Braun because I think Braun's obviously got the brighter future and
Yeah.
all that good stuff, but maybe throw him in a tag team with kind of that strange bedfellow kind of thing, and I think it would be a lot of fun. I think Corbin is a good enough wrestler that I think he could be an asset to the tag division. So,
Still one of the most protected finishers in the business.
yeah, it is. It is. Ask Roman. That's who shit
Man, that was
challenge Roman.
5. That was almost 5 years ago that he was getting covered in dog. All right, it's just,
It's
we
gonna
don't
be
talk about the
crazy.
Dark
It's
Ages.
gonna be crazy when in September we're celebrating him breaking that record, and we think about that. Let's talk about that leak
That was
for the
that was
Mania
that
card.
was that was the saddest, shittiest transition that you could have made into this subject.
It's definitely not. I've had worse.
Well, okay, this was a sad and shitty transition into this subject, but
Let's talk
rumor
about
and
it.
innuendo. Sports Illustrated reporting 3 marquee matches for WrestleMania. Gunther winning the Royal Rumble to take on Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk taking on Cody Rhodes, and Rock taking on Roman. These are great matches. Not necessarily what I want to see at
Mm-mm.
this particular show.
Mm-mm.
Like, at all.
Mm-mm.
We've
None of
already
them.
said, we've already said that the Rumble, it feels like anybody could win this match this year. I mean, Gunther, Punk, Cody, Drew. I mean, Jey Uso's a long shot favorite. You know,
Do not get me started on Jey Uso.
I'm
Don't
just.
you? He wasn't even on the graphic. Did you know that?
I did not look at that. No,
He
I didn't take
wasn't
a. I didn't take a
even
roll call looking at the graphic.
he wasn't even on the graphic when they showed it, dude. Don't well, we can talk about Jey Uso another time. But here's the ball. So that's how I feel about Jey Uso. Go ahead.
Give it time. I still think that the Rumble interaction with Jimmy is what happens. Would you not? Would you not look at me in that tone of voice?
A little blurry.
No, I feel like I need to tell your wife how you treat me on this show.
She won't care.
You're right. She really won't. So
She won't care.
anyway.
She's just happy I have someone to talk to about wrestling besides her.
Yeah. No. So. Yeah. Let's get into this here. I think that we had some idea that The Rock coming back to join TKO would have implications beyond just the boardroom. And we talked a little bit about that on our episode Monday or yesterday. So if you've not had a chance to watch that, head on over to the archives or check out our shorts on YouTube. Shout out to One Stop Wrestling also for posting our content to our listeners across the pond that we hope to attract in 2024. This is not good. And we talked about this today. And the real issue was, can they keep Cody Rhodes hot for another year? I personally think that they could do it. That doesn't mean that I think that they should. And you just don't want to see it outright at all. Is that fair to say?
I think you already have the memes online. You already have everything.
It's that damn chicken.
You have everything. It's like, when's he going to finish the story? This is the longest story ever. What story is he trying to finish? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, am I ready to go another year with Cody Rhodes saying I have to finish the story? Like, at what point am I going to go, I don't care if you finish the story. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I think if they do have Punk and Cody, like I think that's a money match. I think you can try to save that for SummerSlam. I think you can try to save that for next year's Mania. Like that'd be a hell of a SummerSlam main event if Cody Rhodes is defending the WWE champion against CM Punk. Like that'd be a crazy
Yeah.
build. You're going to be in a stadium for that show too, or
Hopefully, it's a stadium in Ohio.
correct, or like one of those big international shows. Like that would be a huge main event.
Yeah.
Or Mania next year. Like, but I'm not ready for it this year because they just started teasing it. And yes, their promo was amazing, but they have done that where it's like multiple people are going after each other. So I don't get the sense that that's the way they're going. I don't think they should go there that soon because we need Rollins and Punk. That's the one I want to see so
Yeah.
badly. And I know Rollins may be a little compromised, but I don't care. I still want to see the build for it. I want to see everything that goes in it. Will it be the
Yeah.
best match in the world if Rollins is compromised? I don't know, but that's the one I want to see now. For Cody, I want to see Cody versus Roman, and I want to see Cody win that title. If we get to The Rock and Roman, it doesn't need a title. I'm telling you
I
now,
agree.
it doesn't need a title.
I agree.
Gunther and Rollins, I'd be okay with that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think they could go the route of what you've said is have him continue to have the Intercontinental Champion, win the WWE Champion, and be kind of that dual champion a la Ultimate Warrior. I'd be okay with that.
God. Can we add his name to the list too?
No, because he did it. But
Okay.
well, you see what you did.
Sorry.
Like I that's the one out of the three I'd be okay with at this year's Mania if they were to go that route because I think Gunther would be a fun surprise Rumble winner that nobody was really expecting. But you also have, hey, we're thinking about doing Gunther and Brock. Okay, I want to see that, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I do want to see that if you're gonna tease it, let's get it in now and you can save those other money feuds for later. I know there's that timetable with The Rock, and if we're going to do it, we should do it sooner rather than later. I don't know at this point if I need to see that match, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the window's definitely closing on it, and we talked about this yesterday. Kind of the ramifications of this return of The Rock to the WWE fold at what is essentially a permanent basis at this point. You know, I mean, board seat, 30 million in shares. I mean, there's a lot to like from this perspective if you're The Rock. I mean, he also gets the ownership to that name. No more licensing it from WWE in order to conduct his business. And we're talking about, you know, we have talked about Dwayne Johnson and whether it is time to transition out of Hollywood. He had a great run, but again, like you said, you know, can we think of any sort of iconic, just classic movie that had him? When we look at the variety of things that John Cena does as far as film, television, you know, commercials, things of that nature, and then you look at Dave Bautista, who voluntarily walked away from Marvel because he wanted to start doing dramas and wanted to have a bit more range in what he does. Something that we've not necessarily seen The Rock, have much interest in, or at least certainly hasn't been expressed to the public. So, I mean, this does feel like the right move right now for him. I agree. I don't think Rock versus Roman needs a title. Excuse me. But it's just, honestly, there's no but. I can't justify this right now. Elimination Chambers in Australia have this match. All PLEs feel like a big deal now because they are going international. Yes, we get it. The Rock is of that generation where WrestleMania was the biggest show of the year. That's what you built to. This is a new WWE now. Every PLE is going to be a big deal. We're especially going to see that once this partnership with Netflix actually makes it to our TV screens or just screens in general at this point. So, to shoehorn The Rock into a WrestleMania story at the expense of Cody Rhodes definitely doesn't sit well with me. I'm ready for him to finish the story. it should not have taken this long. And I mean, it also comes back to the Roman situation. Yes, we know that WWE wants to modernize the record books, but I mean, like realistically, how far do you think that they can actually take that? How far can they actually go to say, hey, we want him to pass Hogan, and then I think Pedro is next on that list. I mean, there's a few names that still, what's that?
I said you said it. Clear the board. Clear the board. No,
16 days.
I think he already passed Pedro.
Okay.
I think if he gets to September, he's second all time.
This really, really hurts to actually reset this. Right, I'm pretty pissed now.
You're gonna be pissed when he returns in the Rumble.
Oh, you shut your dirty mouth.
Reset the board. Somebody said his name. Now we're gonna get 12 more weeks of winter. Or I don't know. Anyway. How many weeks is it?
6 generally, I think. I don't know.
All right. Well, yeah, I agree with you, man. It's just, the only reason I think they will have him break that record is because I don't know when they're going to get this close again. You know what I mean? Like, when's the next time they will get that close?
I mean, is it about... well, let me ask you this. Is it about the fact that they could do another reign like that? Or is it about when will we see it for this particular championship? Because the now rumored co-favorite of the Royal Rumble has been with WWE for over 1,800 days, and he's held a championship for 1,400 plus of them. Yep. Let's not act like they couldn't go this route again with Gunther and do the same thing. But again, I could see the difference as far as the belt. So you think it's more about the person that does it, or is it that particular championship?
I think it's the fact that they've gotten very lucky with Roman that we've had no injuries. He's still
part-time schedule.
He still has, like, when he comes out, it still feels like a big deal. And
yes, it
does. If you say it doesn't, you're lying, because when Roman shows up, it's like, oh, I need to go watch.
I would never.
Not you, but like if you say that, you're lying, right? I think that plays into it. That we don't know. Like there's so many variables. Look at Seth Rollins. Like there's so many variables that go into that, booking wise, timing wise, change in management wise. Like we never thought we would be where we are now.
Lord, no, we didn't.
I don't know if we will get to this point again where you have somebody doing it like that. So that's why I think this is so tempting. That's why last year when we went for our Mania preview, if you remember on the pod, very early on the pod, I said, I think it's too tempting for them to hit that 1,000 days.
Yeah.
And now I think it is too tempting for them to get to that record of him being number 2 overall, because we're never going to get number 1. If he holds the title for 7+ years, then I'm out. But
yeah,
I don't
know. Modern pro wrestling consumption is not built for a 7-year world championship reign. It's just not. But yeah,
we'll see.
I hate when I agree with you.
But for me, you know what the best part is?
What's that?
Is we don't know. We are this close to Mania.
Yeah.
And the picture is so unclear.
Yeah.
And in a good way.
For sure. And it's been a while since, I mean, and you and I, even before this podcast, have watched more than a few wrestling shows together. And we've usually had some idea of where it's going to go, or, just kind of feeling based on what we're seeing of like, okay, here are the kind of the natural avenues. Now it's just a little bit of, it's lawlessness.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a fun Mania season. I'll say that. I will say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we certainly hope that all of you listening and watching will be along for the ride. with us. That will do it for today's episode. Again, we will be back tomorrow at 6:30 with our official Royal Rumble preview show. We've got some great guests. What's that look on your face?
I gotta think what I'm gonna pick.
Yeah. I mean, and you don't have to stick with the pick that we did for our initial network picks. That's
Well,
okay.
we gave top 3.
That's fair.
I didn't give my official pick until tomorrow.
Okay. That is perfectly fine. Yeah, so we will be seeing you guys at 6:30. Remember to hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe. Check out the first half of this doubleheader on our archives on YouTube already. Thank you again to everybody from the Georgia Wrestling Awards that has joined us this week. Best of luck to everybody this weekend. I'm trying
Shout
to think
out to
of
Bryce Cannon for being on
Yes.
Dynamite tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the hair looked great though.
It did, but
Yeah.
Hook launched you, dude.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. I literally had one of those Leo Once Upon a Time in Hollywood moments like, yeah, I know that guy. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that tip's recognizable anywhere.
Yeah.
But remember, guys, don't touch it.
Facts. Yeah. I think that'll do it for us for today.
I'm ready for bed.
Yeah, I'm ready for dinner. So, yeah. What?
I haven't eaten dinner either.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't.
Probably not. Probably just going to go to bed. Have to watch
Well,
Copeland and Minoru. We're going to have to watch it tomorrow. Sorry. Yeah. We were hoping it was going to come on, but it looks like it might rightfully main event the show, so that's good.
As it should, and I think that's perfectly okay. I know that we have not done as much AEW coverage as we probably should this week. We probably seem like a bunch of degens for only talking about the E, but, it's all love. It's just been a busy news cycle. That's all it is. Nothing.
I think you mean the
nothing
O.
against them.
TKO.
Whatever. I still say the E. Whatever. It's all the same damn thing.
Love you.
Yeah. Anyway, for the podcast, Dad, I'm Mr. Cincinnati. This has been an episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.